Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Trojan Trench for tonight's contest between the North Judson Blue Jays and your Triton Trojans Big Blue Slam. On behalf of the Triton community and the entire staff and student body of Triton Junior Senior High School, we welcome North Judson as our guest at tonight's contest. We ask that all fans and players demonstrate an attitude of good sportsmanship throughout today's contest. Your cooperation and positive support is greatly appreciated. We're going to begin this evening with the recognition of our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade volleyball teams, starting with the 6th grade. Sophia Hay, Courtney Heisel, Amy Grace Overmeyer, Chloe Hammond, Macy Olson, Avery Wright, Gemma Ibera, Aspen Geyer, Ariana Arbison, Kathy Vermillion, McKenna Watkins, Callie Hargrave, Kelsey Frick, Mariah Lattimore, Lexi Sellers, Mackenzie Williams, and Skylar Nicholson. The 6th grade is coached by Katie Sellers, assistant coach Emma Hepler. And now for your 7th grade, Alexis Kaufman, Avery Faulkner, Clarity Otterson, Adeline Stickton, Jada Hewlett, Natalie Crooks, Ellie Eckes, Adeline Bailey, Janine McNeil, head coach Wendy Eckes, assistant coach Molly McFarland. Now for your 8th grade, Sophie Powell, Jahaira Louise Gonzalez, Gracie Riffle, Audrey Marshall, Savannah Holland, Austin Wright, Kai Fear, Tatum Hudson. The 8th grade is coached by our very own Morgan Hall.
1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thanks.
Now, would everyone please rise, and gentlemen, kindly remove your hats as we honor America in the playing of our national anthem.
All right, welcome everyone here to the Trojan Trenches. Triton welcomes in Hoosier North Athletic Conference opponent, the North Judson Lady Jays. I'm Andy O'Hara. Alongside me is Alexa Veers, Caden Hummich on sideline camera, Mason Van Fossen running music for us, and the Hall of Famer O'Reilly. We're here for the Tri-Trojan Sports Network, broadcasting live on YouTube and the IHSAA Champions Network. Alexa, who we got out there starting for the Lady Trojans here tonight?
So Sierra Hawley is your libero, Maya Davis, Macy Hensley, Addison Veers, Avery Veers, Hannah Snyder, and Lena Dahl.
And out there for the Lady Jays, you'll have Kelsey White, Virginia Chambers, Reese Johnston in the libero spot, as well as Avery Johnston, Gracie Minix, Lindley Martin, and Grace Craig. Of course, the Lady Jays, coached by Jennifer Radke, they come in 11-3 on the season. This is their first Hoosier North game of the season. Triton, this will be their third. And as little as less than 2 weeks, you had 2 in 1 week, and this week kicks off. Of course, they'll have Tippecanoe Valley on Thursday and then the Triton tournament on Saturday. Selena Dahl back to serve it away. It's a very good server. As Lena currently sits third with 14 aces to her credit, but a very accurate senior back there serving the ball as we're underway. Maya Davis handles it. Sets it up for Addison Veers. Goes and kills it to the back, or tries to kill it to the back row to Johnson. She handles it. And White gets it back across, and the Lady Jays strike first. It's a nice job and a good dig there by Reese Johnson to set up that point. Back to serve is Lindley Martin. She'll send it away. Veers passes it across. Lena Dahl calls for it. That was Craig tried to hit, and that one drops inside. The Lady Jays start with a 2-point swing. Of course, Triton their last time out went 5 sets against Culver in that game over there at the Cavaliers' house. Hit close to the net, and a good heads-up play up front by Gracie Minix. as the Lady Jays flexing their muscles here in this opening few points. Beers swats it across, and it gets there as now North Judson. Now Triton gets on the board. Now it's 3-1 as Hannah Snyder goes back to serve. And Triton gets that one. Is that considered an ace? I don't know. It seems like they hit it.
Yeah, I think they touched it.
Snyder again. Good serve to the back row. Chambers setting up Minix.
Ooh, someone's in the net.
Addison Veers swings and pushes that one to the far sideline. Draws even at 3. And Snyder goes back to serve again. Snyder again. Chambers sends her right back to Lindley Martin, who goes right back to Sierra Hawley on the other side. Veer swing. Good strong hit, but unfortunately couldn't quite keep that one in play. Back to serve now is Chambers. Davis will try a swing. She'll go, but pushes it out of bounds. Triton does not seem to get their timing down on their hits. Chambers settles right back in. All in the return. Hensley fades away, but brings it back into play. Triton benefits on the miscue up front by the Lady Jays. Makes it 5-4. Snyder pushes it to Veers. Avery Veers now sends it to the back row. And Avery's one that's really came on as late as Craig pushes that one to the back row. Up to Addison Veers, swings it through. And they're going to say it went out of bounds. And Hawley and Hensley change places. 6-4 now in favor of the Lady Jays. The next to serve, and that one goes out of bounds and an ace for North Judson. Coach Even trying to rally his troops here a little bit. These last few games, especially going into this week, going into this tournament, you're going to play two really tough teams in North Judson here in Tippecanoe Valley. That one hits the antenna. Right here, it's just kind of see what you're made of and kind of gauge where you're at to get some really good competition, because this is the kind of teams you'll be facing in sectional play and pass that if you make it that far.
Absolutely, and just learning how to deal, like how checking your attitude when you're down like this or when it's a little bit of a harder battle. You need to always try to keep spirits up. Like, not having spirits up brings your team down. Even if you're losing, like, you still try to be excited and just keep pushing and pushing.
Addison Veers with a nice serve. We saw this team against Oregon Davis last week get down in a couple spots. Things kind of started to spin just a little bit, couldn't quite find traction, but they dug deep and found a way to win. They now got to know they have that ability, but tonight you're going to have to do it against a really good North Judson team.
Absolutely. And North Judson has always been one of those teams that I've just really respected, and I've always respected their coaching staff. They play in unity, and they play to win.
So 4 hits called on North Judson, but a good job up front defensively by Alina Dahl and Avery Veers along that front line.
That front play is going to be really important, especially when you have such a sound fundamental team that knows, that can see holes in everything. It should be a really good game.
Craig pushes it back. Martin goes back across. Dahl rolls it. Chambers across the way will set it up for White. Passes up to the front as Dahl plants her feet and sends it across. Martin swings from beyond the attack line and finds a nice spot and drops it in. And North Judson moving the floor real well. Passes are on point. That's for Triton. You're going to have to watch the mistakes you made because this is a North Judson team that can really go on a run.
Absolutely. Definitely need to hear more voices out there.
Craig, but couldn't quite clear it, but good movement by the Lady Jays. Watching them play, they're moving around the floor off the ball really well. And now Maya Davis back to serve. Her and Addison Veers coming into tonight's contest, both leading with 20 aces apiece. But Maya Davis had what, 7 the other night? 8 in that one exchange. Now it drops right in that back line. A good swing from the far side for North Judson. And Jenna Beals will now check in. So if you're Triton right now, yeah, you're down by 2, but dig deep. That's not over just because they're up by a couple points. You learned how to battle. You just got to apply that here.
Absolutely. And they just need to really, remember what they're good at. You just got to try to pick each other up in the process of also doing your part.
Caden said 9 aces. He must have been keeping track. Back to serve now is Gracie. Oh, sorry, that was not Gracie Minix. That was Kelsey White for North Judson. And a good swing from Lena Dahl. Allie Westhaver looks to rotate in for Snyder, who gets a break. Back goes Avery Veers to serve. Veers with a laser to the back row. Allie Westhaver reaches up and sends it down. Looking like a 6'5" front row player, sends it down with authority. Good play from Allie Westhaver.
She's just one that I think keeps improving, especially in the front row.
She's strong up there. She just showed it off. And right through that front corner, everybody kind of was expecting someone else to swing, and when she jumped higher than everybody else anticipated. She's athletic. She can move. Veers with another strong serve to the back row and an ace for Avery Veers. And the football player's like, maybe I'd ask them to wear one of those helmets for warm-ups. I didn't get hit tonight. And I told Addison she hit me. She argued, didn't think that she did. Chambers now. Good swing from Martin, but it goes out of bounds. And Veers goes back. Triton with that 2-point advantage. Avery Veers, calm, cool, and collected back there serving tonight. Addison Veers dumps it across. Martin tips it and drops it right in the middle of the zone. And Holly will now rotate in for Avery. 1-point ball game. Triton's out in front. Good back and forth battle here in this first set between these two conference opponents. The libero back to serve is Reese Johnston. One of 3 seniors on this team. Good serve to the back row. Tied up the 2 Trojans. Macy Hensley drives it across. Minix wants it. She'll hit it. Good play. Good dig by Sierra Holly. Martin swings. Good stop by Bulis. That ties it up at 13. Veers and Hensley firing each other up. As Johnson gets a second straight serve. Hensley, good strong hit to the back row. Johnson handles it. Minix wants it. Goes back across. Veers sets it up close to Lena Dahl, and she rolls it across. Plays close to the net, but there's Lena Dahl and sends it down. Lena Dahl, yeah, she didn't get that hit she wanted a moment ago, but what I love about these players is it's next play mentality, and they come up and make a game. You make a mistake, they come and make up for that mistake the very next hit.
Absolutely. I think this team does a really good job at just not getting so bogged down on one mistake, and they just keep trying and trying until they make it right.
Coach even nods. I know what you're trying to do, and I think I knew where she was trying to go with that one. Just didn't quite place it right on the hand where she wanted to. Martin now to serve. Tied up at 14. Felix tries to track it down, but the two players collide, and the Lady Jays are back out in front. (15-14) as Martin goes back to serve. It's a soft serve. And now just past the line. 2-point swing for North Judson. 16-14. I'll tell you what, I love the fight between these two teams. I like to see these back and forth battles. Martin with some nice serving for North Judson. Macy Hensley couldn't quite get it. Triton just not quite, and Coach Evans going to call that timeout. Talk about your timing and different things like that. What kind of things do you think he's saying to him down the huddle?
I think a big one is just remember, like, when it comes to a team like this, especially when you're as close as you are in points, you need to come back, like, fighting. You can't do necessarily the soft stuff. Like, I feel like we haven't been hitting to our full potential at the moment. And with North Judson, who is a very powerful team and who will keep swinging and swinging, you want to be able to answer back to that.
Well, and that's what you got. Exactly right. I think this is a group here when they're talking and they're passing. I mean, when they get those good, strong hits, this is a group that they're capable of hitting that ball strong, right? Even if it's into the opponent, they're still hitting the ball strong. They're just not getting those strong hits you usually want to see them have here in the set.
Absolutely.
But you got to go to North Judson's credit. Everything's kind of gone to plan. I mean, even when they've made a couple mistakes, they've battled back, and that's why they got that lead right now with those 3 points. But good serving, good defense. But for me, is their off-ball movement and how they're kind of rotating. They're not bunching up. They're doing a good job moving the floor.
Yes, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's always someone backing someone up and backing up any kind of, like, loose ball or anything. Like, they're just moving really well as a unit.
Snyder leaves it for Addison Veers, winds up, sends it to the back row, and drives it in. And gets Triton back on the board as Maya Davis will now rotate in. She'll go on the front line, I believe. Snyder goes back to serve. Chambers leaves it across the way for Craig. She'll swing and tipped up front. Holly handles it. Veers rolls it just past the attack line. Martin, strong serve, a strong hit out the back row, and Triton draws within one. Snyder goes back again. Martin goes well. Snyder couldn't. Good hustle, but couldn't quite corral it back. And Martin picking some nice spots when she hits that ball for North Judson.
Absolutely. Her back row attacks have just been, they're not like any high balls. They're very, like, sharp and to the spot she wants them to be.
Chambers back to serve. To Davis, who tips it across. And somehow Judson corrals it, but the hit goes out back past the baseline. And Macy Hensley goes back to serve. It's a good effort by Judson. Didn't quite get it where they wanted it, but still got a free ball to go back across.
Yes. And a big thing for both these teams, they need to use their free balls, especially with how hard they hit and how they move as a team. Like, your free balls are so important against games like this when they're so close, because those are free kills, basically.
Absolutely. Hensley with another nice serve. Chambers tips it across. Lena Dahl's there to wait for it. Passes up to Addison Veers, who swings and drives it down. Triton regains the lead. And right there, what's important about those points by Triton, you got down by a few points, but you responded.
Yes.
You didn't panic, you responded, and you clawed your way back.
Which is something that I think these girls have really just grown in, knowing that they do have that full capability to come back from any kind of points that they're down, whether that's 2 points or 5 points.
And with 5 seniors, I mean, out there on the floor for Triton, I mean, you want to see that, and then how do you handle that pressure?
Absolutely. And then these girls, I feel like, have played with each other so long, they know exactly how each other works. on and off the court, which that off the court relationship is so important just because more trust is built, and you have to have trust if you're on a team together. And I think these girls have really shown that.
Ties it up at 19 as Minix back to serve. Up to Addison Veers. It goes back to Minix, and they can't quite bring it into play, and Triton back out in front. Veers goes to the back row. Chambers passing it up to Martin. Free ball. How does Triton handle it here? Snyder leaves it up. Lena Dahl tips it right over top of the front line. And a 2-point swing for Triton. That was a nice job by Lena Dahl to see the wall come up there and bait them into jumping that block early and just tipping it right over top of them. That was a good job by Lena.
Absolutely. And she was able to do that because there's been kill, kill, kill.
Blocked up front. Lena Dahl, but she touched it, and there it is. Lena Dahl recognized in a hurry. Another good block from her, another strong play for her, and a timeout for the Blue Jays. Of course, they take a quick timeout. Triton Blue Slam Volleyball, the Triton Blue Slam Volleyball team will be having a fundraiser featuring Bruce's Big Grill Barbecue on Saturday, September 9th from 11 to 2 in the Triton High School parking lot. Ticket price is $12, and the meals to include pulled pork barbecue sandwich, chips, and water. Desserts are available with donation upon picking up your meal. All proceeds from the fundraiser will benefit the Triton Varsity Volleyball program. Thank you for supporting your Lady Big Blue Slam. Of course, that's this weekend, so show up for that. It's always a good time. The place gets pretty packed for that Triton tournament. So we'll see a few teams we've already seen, but it's usually a fun day.
It's always hard to beat the same team twice.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So Addison Veers back to serve. Triton leads 22-19. We'll see what Judson has out of this timeout. Chambers leaves it up as Craig sets it across. Maya Davis dumps it to the far back corner, and Triton Veers with a nice strong serve to the back row. Up close. And the Lady Jays get it back across. Passes close to the net. Lena Dahl's got to be ready and tips it across. And now it's set point now for the Triton Lady Trojans. Addison Veers with the laser back to Martin. Chambers pushes it back to Martin. She'll elevate and hit it across. Lena Dahl swings it through. Johnson couldn't quite clear it, and Triton wins their 7th opening set here this season. So we'll take a break, and we'll be back after this right here on the Triton Trojan Sports Network.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance. We're good at Matt's 1-car, 2-bedroom apartment with a home office / home gym insurance. We're good at Nick's SUV and farmhouse with a remodeled kitchen / art gallery insurance.
And we're good at the Wilbur suburban home with the 2-car garage / rehearsal space insurance.
Have you seen my hockey socks?
Have you checked your sock drawer?
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
All right, welcome back, everyone, here to the Trojan Trench. Andy O'Hara alongside me is Alexa Veers, Caden Hummich, Mason Van Fossen, and the Hall of Famer Ryan Lemmer here for the Triton Trojan Sports Network, broadcasting live on YouTube and the IHSA Champions Network. Triton took that opening set 25-19. For Triton, though, and the big story for them is, hey, you got down, you had some tough moments, but yet you battled back. But now you've got an attack coming out here in this second set because North Judson's going to be ready to go.
Absolutely, and both teams already have a game under their belt, so now they kind of have an idea of what each team is capable of, what spots to hit, what spots they're going to hit. So the intensity is just going to pick up from here.
And like I said, this North Judson team, how they move the floor really impresses me. Like you said, they back up. They got some good passes. Martin's hitting it really well from beyond the attack line. I'd be ready if I'm trying here because Martin's a very good server, and she can put that ball wherever she wants to on the floor.
Yes.
And she'll start it off. She'll go back to serve. And an ace right off the bat. Like I said, they're going to come out firing. And an ace, that's her second one here tonight. Did it work? Martin again. Holly handles it. It's close to the net. Snyder didn't quite get the angle she wanted. Triton needs to answer back, I think, here on this third point. You can't let North Judson get on a big run if you're Triton, but North Judson, hey, that's what you got to do. Get out and get a run because they get a lead. This is a group I think can really play with a lead.
Absolutely, and with them having that serve, and especially like you said, Martin, who is such a good server, they're going to use this to their advantage to build up more points.
And Martin again is the Lady Jades lead by 3. Triton stopped them after 3 points in that opening set. Addison Veers brings it back into play, and Macy Hensley will have to send a free ball back across. Craig swings it, but couldn't quite get it to clear the net, so that's a big point for Triton. How do you build from this?
First things first, you do what we were taught. You do your job. You get your serve over. Then you go for 2 more. You try to get 3 serves over.
Johnson handles it. Holly stops it. Macy Hensley tipped up front by Craig. Back and forth, we're tipping along the front, but it goes out of bounds, and Triton benefits on the point. Some good front line play between these two teams. You see two teams hungry for the ball, and I like seeing that on that front line.
Absolutely.
Craig pulls it back into play. Johnson sends a free ball across. Passes close to the net, but here comes Addison Veers and drives it. Holy cow.
Okay, it hit her shoulder. That scared me for a second.
I don't care what you say. There's never going to be an interview, and I'm not standing down there when Addison hits it. Holy cow. That was a rocket.
Holy Moses.
Martin goes right back. Holly has to adjust quickly. Snyder brings it back into play, and Lena Dahl plants her feet. That's a good recovery by Triton. North Judson on the attack. Veers bails him out, but Macy Hensley with the free ball across. Good rally, and Craig can't clear it. The hustle by the Trojans gives them the lead by 1, and the football players like that one. Maybe I have to ask them if I can borrow a helmet, at least during warm-ups. I didn't get hit tonight. Well, on mute,
Well,
Ryan.
you never know.
Dahl back across. Johnson handles it. Minix to swing. Holly's up to send one, and it somehow clears it. And a double hit call coming on Triton.
I got hit in the head too pregame.
You did?
Pre-JV. I came up here and just kind of tapped me.
Addison smacked me right in the side of the head last time. And I got hit down on the scorer's table. Talk to Coach Whitaker, see if I can borrow a helmet for volleyball. And Macy Hensley reaches top shelf and brings it back for the lead.
North Judson looked like they were trying to get a net call on that.
At least I thought it was.
Oh.
Maybe we're tied at 4. I don't know. Nope, North Judson gets the ball because they're going to say Triton was in the net. Another double hit call brought on Triton. That's her second one, both of them here in this set. 2-point lead now for the Lady Jays. Up to Hensley. She swings and it drops it right inside that corner. Nice recognition by Macy Hensley to find that soft spot back in the corner. And Maya Davis will rotate in now. And Snyder goes back to serve. Johnson handles it. Chambers leaves it for Minix. And that past the block, not strong enough, deflects and rolls along the top of the net. And the point belongs to North Judson as Gracie Minix goes back to serve.
Oh, good hustle.
Good hustle by Triton, but the point belongs to North Judson. They lead by 3.
So now is the time where they need to start picking each other up and respond with a kill.
Dahl brings it back into play. Snyder leaves it up. Davis with a good swing to the back row. A kill for Maya Davis. Maya had 36 to her credit coming into tonight. Craig gets it across. Macy Hensley swings from beyond the attack line. Good heads up play by Veers. Davis reaches up and sends it down. Craig found an empty spot and dropped it in. Caught Triton out of position. And Grace Craig goes back to serve. Snyder leaves it for Addison Veers, who swings, but a good block up front by Kelsey White. And now a 4-point lead for North Judson. Off the top of the net, good communication by Addison Veers. Maya Davis swings through. Chambers to Martin. Swings through the block, and that one goes out of bounds. And knocks down a Gatorade bottle. So 5-point lead. We'll see how Triton adjust here. North Judson in control here. Blocked up front. They continue to roll here. Lady Jays coming in 27 set wins coming into tonight. Like I said, their first conference game of the season. Veers tips it across. And Avery Veers. Reach up to the top shelf, young lady, and send it down. Can't hide nothing from her on the top shelf. She'll find it.
Nice spot.
Craig Strong hit off the back, but it was a good attempt in the front line by North Judson to keep it in play. Davis sets it across. Martin swings. Addison Veers has got to send that one back into play. Lena Dahl tips it across. Martin wants it back. Swings from the middle. Snyder handles it, and Craig keeps it in play. Martin again. This time, she wins that battle. Martin, such a good hitter from the middle wherever she's out on the floor. She's getting good swings of the ball for the Lady Jays. Lena Dahl hits to the back row. Johnston, the libero, keeps it alive. And it all goes right back to the back row, swings through the block. Triton back on the board. 4 points separate the two teams. You know, Caden could have helped her out down there by stopping the ball. He's got his headphones off. Davis with a nice serve to the back row. Chambers pushes it across to Martin, who winds up and swings it. Snyder's got to pull it away from the net. Coach wanted that one. As Bulis will now rotate in. That was a great play by Hannah Snyder to pull that one away from the net. Johnston back to serve. That one goes out of bounds. Saw Triton empty back there behind that baseline and try to push him back and bait him into a hit. Avery Veers answers back with a good serve. Minix hits it across. Lena Dahl there to answer. Snyder leaves it right back. Lena Dahl wants it. She sets it across, but it goes out of bounds. And Sierra Hawley rotates in.
I think the Trojans just need to start finding the right holes. Some that I've noticed is their corners are always open when they're deep. And their cross court, like we've seen them do it a couple times. Those ones that are very short in front of the 10-foot line, that is almost always open. Because North Judson has a lot of momentum right now, especially with all their kills. What Triton needs to do now is make a mix of their game and find those holes. Because that's those when they mix, those are the points that help them build up.
And North Judson just seeming to catch them out of position. They're doing a good job hitting their spots. Triton having to scramble here on this one. Chambers across. Craig back again and tries it right in between. Splits the defenders. And a 7-point lead, and Coach Even calls a timeout. Just tries to refocus in. If you're down there and you're Coach Racky, what are you telling those girls down there who are hitting and finding their spots?
Just keep pushing. Honestly, when you're up like this and you have that momentum, you just have to kind of put in that reminder. Keep pushing. Remember your fundamentals. Keep playing with each other. And just give them some technical advice, like where their holes at. Like keep them up and invested into the game.
And if you're trying your Coach Even, you know, he's just talking about where you're in position, where you're putting your body as what he's really down there kind of coaching them up with right now. And that's one thing I like about Coach Even. He's a teacher. He teaches them what you need to be doing. And here, helps them adjust on the fly. And that's what he's down there teaching them, because there's a lot of the Tritons not getting there quite there. They're not getting both hands on the ball.
No.
There's a lot of one-hand hits, and when you do that, you can't really depict where that ball is going to go.
No, I agree with you fully, because a lot of, like, I understand, like, using one arm for maybe if you're running outside of the court, or it can be used in some kind of, like, emergency situations. But a lot of times, especially when you have such hard hitters, you need your hips behind the ball, and you need both arms out with that platform straight. You cannot go at a sharp serve or hit with one arm, because then it's just going to keep ricocheting.
That was a good, and like I said, these next couple points are going to be big for Triton, because North Judson, like you said, has that momentum, but they need to get themselves squared up to that ball.
Mm-hmm.
And Martin goes right into the net, but that's not taking anything away from North Judson's doing, because what they're doing is they're doing a good job catching Triton out of position, kind of manipulating where they want them to go in the ball, and they're seeing they're not getting squared up, and they're attacking that offside to where they're going to throwing them out of position.
Absolutely. And you look at North Judson, they don't have a lot of height. Like, compared to the 5 seniors we have, 3 of them just have huge amounts of height. They're using that to their advantage with their quick feet, and they're able to get behind a lot of hits.
Macy Hensley gets a good swing, but it goes out of bounds.
A big thing that's just going to improve Triton's game right now is just that passing, getting your hips behind the ball and getting it to target. Because you can't have a good hit unless that ball is to target and your setter gets you a good serve.
Snyder pushes across. It's close to the net. Addison Veers close to the net on that one. Johnson back across from the libero spot. Veers sends it to the back row. Good dig by Johnston. Martin wants it. She'll swing and drops it in. Lady J's now 5 points away from taking the second set. Chambers goes across and gets that one to drop in. that considered an ace? 2 players hit it?
Mm-hmm. You know, and that first one in that first game was an ace. I was just caught up in watching.
And the second set is where North Judson is always real strong, averaging just 24 points, but only losing 2 sets this season, coming from that second set of the game. Veers drives it, but Triton wanting a tip, and that's what they're going to get. And North Judson looking for an explanation.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
The call is from the back judge. Oh, the run the flag over here was the call. There was a tip.
And that down ref can overrule it too. So he had to have seen it as well, because you've got 2 eyes on it. 2 sets of eyes. Yeah.
And they're going to call a net violation on North Judson as she crossed underneath. They're going to say Minix crossed underneath. That's their first net violation. So the point belongs to Triton. It was close. It was kind of a bang-bang play. Minix did look from this angle, did look like she crossed underneath, and that's what the down ref called. And now it drops in an ace. It's Triton's 4th. You awake down there? I guess not. Another 8 back-to-back for Hannah Snyder. Caden, you awake down there? This thing is turned on, right? Okay. Well, the camera's moving, so I guess he is. No thumbs up. Maybe he's got something unplugged. Or he's just using that teenage ability to ignore his parent talking. Chambers leaves it up for Craig. She'll swing, goes back and drops it in the corner. Good, solid hit by her. Good pass leading to that hit. Chambers, a very good setter in that front row. Minix back to serve. They're 3 points away. Dahl handles it. Snyder up to Veers, and she rolls it across. Minix handles. Martin wants it. And they get the point.
Right now, Triton needs someone talking in that back row, because you have a lot of balls that are coming essentially right at their chest or right like at their forehead. That's where you need to start talking to your teammates and going back, back, back. Like, you need to start to track the ball too, even if it's not coming to you.
An ace for North Judson as they're 1 point away from taking the second set. So like I said, North Judson very good in that second set. Triton still alive, but a long way to go. You have to be perfect if you want to take this second set, because North Judson is in the driver's seat right now.
Mm-hmm. And they're at set point right now.
Which you're talking 7 straight points. It's not impossible.
No.
But it's not easy. And Judson with all of that momentum on their side. As Craig goes back up, it's blocked up front. Triton's going to corral it. Dahl goes to Davis. She hits it across. I didn't read my flashcards this week. Chambers leaves it for Craig. She tries to take the second set, and North Judson takes it 25-17. So at least we'll have another one as both teams taking splitting the first 2 sets. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance. We're good at Matt's 1-car 2-bedroom apartment with a home office / home gym insurance. We're good at Nick's SUV and farmhouse with a remodeled kitchen / art gallery insurance.
And we're good at the Wilbur suburban home with the 2-car garage / rehearsal space insurance.
Have you seen my hockey socks?
Have you checked your sock drawer?
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
All right, welcome back, everyone, here to the Trojan Trench. Andy O'Hara alongside me is Alexa Veers, Caden Helmich on sideline, camera Mason Van Fossen running the stadium or the arena music tonight, and the Hall of Famer Ryan Lemmer here for the Triton Trojan Sports Network, broadcasting live on YouTube and the IHSAA Champions Network. The two teams split those first two sets. And Alexa, if you're both teams, I think if you're Triton, you got to come out. I think you need to come on and try to get these first few points to get that momentum back in your favor because North Judson took control of that second set.
Absolutely. Like, you need to come out and have all the energy in the world. Right now, that second game is just, it needs to be a memory. You need to focus on what you're good at here. And especially having the serve back is a good momentum starter.
Lena Dahl goes to the back row. Chambers passes Lisa for Minix. She swings. Dahl with a nice roll shot. Chambers. Lisa for Martin, who's been hitting the ball extremely well tonight, and a point belongs to the Jays right off the bat. But a good battle between the two teams, some good passing. Just a real good strong hit by Lindley Martin, who's just done an outstanding job hitting that ball wherever she's out on the floor tonight.
Absolutely, and she targets things really well. Like, she knows exactly the zones that she wants to go in.
And Veers swings to the block. And that one goes out of bounds, and Triton back on the board. Triton needed that point. And the football players are awake.
They're getting excited.
I'll text Coach Whitaker and ask him they're this fired up during practice.
Right.
Craig blocked up front. Macy Hensley and Maya Davis. Snyder to serve. A double hit call on North Judson. That's their first of the game. I'd kill to have their energy.
Especially this late.
Minix, that one hit goes out. And, you know, I didn't see the cameraman dive in front of that camera. You're on wheels, dude. That Olay defense. It's okay, Caden. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but Addison Veers swings into the block again and cracks the wall. Yeah, he can hear me now. He didn't find it funny, though. Hensley again. Lady J's back on the board. I pick on Caden, but it's all in good fun. He's in a spot I don't want to be in.
No.
A point for Judson as they tie it up at 4. Triton just needs to take a breath here on defense and focus on getting that pass. Chambers leaves it for Craig. It goes back row. That pass just a little too far in front. Coach even trying to fire him up now. Coach Baker talking from her spot on the bench. Up to Veer. She swings, drives it, but it goes back, and Hawley tracks it down. Trying a chance here. Madison Veer sends it down with authority. And Triton needed that point because a couple points to kind of started to spin the wheels a little bit, but Addison Veers puts it right back into gear. Up to Craig, good recognition. Veers plays it off the net. Snyder tracks it, brings it back into play. Good hustle. Davis dumps it across and dumps it again, and there you go, Maya Davis. And Triton takes the lead.
And that was just really good communication, and now they're listening to each other when they're communicating, it feels like.
But it was a good swing by North Judson up front, but it was a great hustle play by Hannah Snyder to get across there and keep it alive. Avery Veers with the insurance to make sure it wasn't coming across. Triton gets the point. And a timeout for the Lady Jays as Triton leads by 3. The Triton Blue Slam volleyball team will be having a fundraiser featuring Bruce's Big Grill Barbecue on Saturday, September 9th from 11 to 2 in the Triton High School parking lot. Ticket price is $12 and the meal is to include a pulled pork barbecue sandwich, chips, and water. Desserts are available with donation upon picking up your meal. All proceeds from the fundraiser will benefit the Triton Varsity Volleyball program. Thank you for supporting your Lady Big Blue Slam. I always look forward to the food on Saturday. It's a long day, but...
I think I heard today there might be homemade soft serve ice cream.
Well... We got interns we can send out for that, right? I'm pretty sure a couple text messages. I'm sure something can make it inside. Desserts are always really good. Craig goes back row. Davis will have to play close to the net, but over pursues. And North Judson uses her tracking close to the net and taps it right over top of her. Davis had the right idea. Thought it was going to be close to the net. You're kind of no man's land. You got to pick one or the other, and she picked one that you thought was going to go close to the net. It was a good recognition, but even better by North Judson to pick that one up. Chambers leaves it for Martin, who swings and goes through. The Lady Jays draw within 1. Davis up again. Big sister. I don't know what what cracks me up about Avery is she shows no emotion.
No.
Not even joy, anger, it doesn't matter. She would be a great livestock showman showing no emotion.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying she would be top notch.
No, she's very, I'm going to use the word chill because that's the only word that
Intense.
I can come to.
Oh, there's something. Oh, there's a smile.
Oh my goodness. I'll make fun of her for that. She's going to hear this tonight because her and Addison watch the games.
Well,
while they're at home.
I tend to pick on her a time or two after ball games.
Oh, yeah.
Davis again. Good strong serve to the back row. Martin brings it back in, and Craig sends a free ball across. Snyder leaves it for Veers. Avery Veers sends it down from the top shelf. She couldn't stop from laughing on that one.
No.
And a conversation along the front line with the two team captains.
Oh.
I think Chambers might have got popped in the mouth.
Yeah.
I think someone's elbow might have caught her.
Oh.
Oof. How'd that happen? Not during volleyball, but I've had it happen. Avery Veers with the block up front.
Very rarely does it happen during volleyball.
And Avery Veers came in with 30 blocks, leading the team here this season. Sophomore. Couldn't quite clear, so North Judson gets the point. And that will send back Kelsey White to serve. Petracki checking on Chambers. Definitely looks like something that pop in the mouth really bothering her.
Mm-hmm.
Might have bit her tongue too. You can't really tell. Veers swings through the block, and Avery Veers.
You'd have really good senses if you could tell if she bit her tongue or not.
Well, there's the way she's kind of moving her mouth. I mean, I've bit my tongue before, so I mean, I kind of know what that looks like. Know what it feels like. Chambers across to Martin. She sends it across. Veers to the answer. It's going to be close to the net. And Chambers back up to Martin. She'll swing. Eulis hits it. Dahl tries to track it down, but couldn't quite get the angle she wanted.
So close. That was good hustle.
But that just goes to show how strong the hits are coming from Lindley Martin. Had a sheep pop me in the mouth a couple times. Bit my tongue.
Mm-hmm.
On up off the basket. Allie Westhaver tips it across. Good play from Allie. Martin blocked by Hensley. And that one there fires him up because that was a strong hit from Martin. She had a good lead up to that hit, but Macy Hensley timed it well with the block. And that's what Coach Evan's telling her. Telling the group, see how she blocked it there. That's what you guys need to do. That's exactly what he's telling these two frontline players. And lead it all back to serve. And an ace for Lena. 6th of the night for the Big Blue Slam. I always like watching Coach Evelyn coach. Dude, he uses his hands very well when he coaches. Even so, I'm starting to kind of understand what he's saying down there.
I know, that's why I was kind of watching him, because I wanted to see what he was saying about the block.
Here's rolls it, but goes right down the sideline, but it rolls just past that sideline. And a point for North Judson. Draws them within 5. Lindley Martin sends that serve, trying to push Triton back. Davis checks in. It's Hannah Snyder back to serve. Chambers. Back to Minix, blocked up front. Veers and Hensley. Of course, give Don Bell a shout. I know him and Becky are watching from home. I was going to message him the other day. I had a question. It was real important. I knew there was a question, but now I can't remember what the question was. It was real important. I was going to ask him, what are we doing over here in the student section?
Oh, my God.
No, I missed it.
Whatever it was, I think it would have been painful if I would have attempted it.
I wasn't expecting that. Oh, my goodness.
I wasn't either. I'm going to have to ask Whitaker what he does at practice. Them boys are not tired enough.
No.
It's like they find their second win, Ryan. I got to figure what their secret is. Snyder now to serve. There we go. Snyder now to serve. Johnson handles it. But a good hustle by the Lady Jays up front as Addison Veers recognizes. Good rally by North Judson. Macy Hensley sends it out the back row. Oh, they're going to say a net violation on North Judson.
16.
They're going to say Craig was in the net.
I can't tell when he does his.
Well, I was following the ball. Craig swings, goes right back. Lena Dahl handles it. Addison Veers. Martin wants it again. She'll swing. Goes out of bounds. Just past that line, and it wasn't by much. Snyder now to serve again.
This is our third conference game.
Yes. Snyder at the laser to the back row. Chambers leaves it for Minnick. She'll swing through the block. Snyder plays it away from the net. Snyder lines up Macy Hensley, but the net sent it right back in. This will be 4 hits will be the call. First 4-hit call on Triton here tonight. Gosh, that's going to bother me. I had a question for Don. It was something non-Triton related, too. And I was like, I'll have to send him a message. Now I can't remember what it is. I'll remember like at 1 o'clock this morning. I guarantee I'll remember at 1 o'clock tomorrow morning. That one goes out of bounds. I'll say that here in just a second. Hensley couldn't quite clear. Now this is the coaching coming from home here. As Don says, exciting match. However, they need to quit dinking and hit the ball.
Dinky.
That's what it says. Hey, Grandpa wants to see those hard hits. He sat down there. He knows what he wants to see. As Triton couldn't quite corral that serve. And an ace for North Judson. That's their 5th. I love talking sports with Don. Always fun to talk sports with him. Snyder leaves it for Veers. She sends it across. Martin's hit couldn't quite get a good pass to somebody. Triton on a little roll here. As Addison Veers goes back to serve. Craig handles it. Chambers leaves it for Martin. She'll swing from the outside. Snyder's couldn't quite play it away from the net. 21-14. Hawley on the return. Up to Lena Dahl, tips it across. Lena Dahl with the no-look hit. If Patrick Mahomes played volleyball, that's the kind of stuff he'd do. He'd look away and tap the ball.
I was like,
I'm just saying, if Patrick Mahomes played volleyball, he'd do those no-look hits. Yeah, you never know where he's going with the ball. As a Broncos fan, it drives me nuts. Maya Davis sends it across. As Johnson gets it across from the middle spot. Avery Veers tips it over the line and gets the point. Triton knock on the door. My goodness, those boys across the way just never cease to amaze me.
they just don't stop.
Davis is served a little too far at the back row.
These girls are so strong. Like, I feel like with their serves, like, you just see how strong they are because they're hitting from the wall to the wall in the gym.
An ace for Kelsey White. Matches Triton with 6 aces between the two teams. Caden better be on watch down there as hard as these girls are serving this ball.
Right.
Here's leaves it for Lena Dahl, who rolls it across. Martin sets it. Westover passes it to Lena Dahl. Lady Jays recover. Here's calls for passing across the way to Lena Dahl, who goes back. Little rally here. Martin drops it right into the middle part of the zone. It was a good find. Had Triton spaced out and dropped it right in the middle of the zone. Good find by Lindley Martin. A timeout for the Big Blue Slam. I'm talking about Lindley Martin's game here for North Judson and how she's able to find with those hits. And she's very accurate hitting. You talk about them not having size. This is a team that's very accurate hitting, and they find those soft spots in a hurry.
Yeah.
And then you look at Triton, a team that they battled here in this one. Okay, now, how do you close this one out? Because North Judson still has a chance to come back in this one. But the big thing is, how do you finish the set to go into that 4-set? Because that 4-set is going to be very interesting from the get-go.
Absolutely. And I think what we've noticed is there's been a lot of hits, especially out of left front, which your left front is where you go to when the ball isn't exactly at target and it's not exactly on point. That's where you go to left front. But that should push you to get your hips square to the ball, because you utilize your right front and especially your middle front. Then that's making North Judson think more. It's making them have to work more.
And Kelsey White back to serve again. Strong serve, and it drops it right in there for an ace. Threaded that needle, and Coach even said, "That's on me." He says, "That one's mine." Accountability right there. Coach handled it. Kelsey White now to serve. Again. Westhaver across the way to Dahl, who sends it down. White there to wait for it. And Dahl tips it over top. Here sends a free ball. Lindley Martin out of bounds. They want a tip up front. Lindley Martin wanting a tip. Avery veers to serve, set point, but couldn't quite clear the net.
It's a little bit higher toss.
She even gets him in position. Still set point for Triton. Johnson to serve. Macy Hensley rolls it across. Craig to Chambers, leaves it for Martin. Martin swings and drives it down. Snyder now rotates in. It's Reese Johnson back to serve. Up to Lena Dahl, sets it across. Chambers leaves it for Martin. Snyder brings it back into play. Dahl sends it back across. Martin winds up. It goes through on a point for the Lady Jays. They're not going quietly in this third set. If you're trying right now, you just need to take a breath. But for Lady Jays, you got a lot of momentum riding here. Johnson, strong serve. Macy Hensley, too strong, goes out the back row. Coach even calls a timeout to try to stop this run by North Judson as they have clawed their way right back into this third set. Coach even right now telling him, settle down. He's trying to tell him, know your assignments, know where you're going. He's just right now, that whole timeout wasn't more of a tactical timeout. It was more of a timeout to refocus and say, hey, you got that. And it's an encouraging timeout I think that Triton needs right now with that 1 point away from taking this third set, but North Judson knocking on the door. They're making themselves known on the other side of that door.
Absolutely. And I think it's good because we have seen where he does just let them kind of figure it out on their own. But also, that is almost to dial them in against teams who aren't as calibrated as North Judson is. I think as a coach, it's really important that, yes.
And that's what they needed.
Yes.
Exactly. 25-22, Triton takes the third set. We'll have the fourth set coming up here in just a few minutes.
At Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, we're not just good at insurance. We're good at Emma and Jake's just baby-proof their 2-bedroom bungalow to prepare for baby number 1 insurance. We're good at Madeline and Chance's just gave in and became minivan people to make room for baby number 2 insurance. And we're good at Gabby and Nate's just moved to a house with a bigger backyard to welcome fur baby number 3 insurance. Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance and stop knocking on wood.
Some see a student athlete working on a shot. We see a powerful lesson in persistence. Some see a student preparing for success on an exam. We see a student athlete preparing for success in life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.
Where does everyone come together to cheer as one, to build traditions, to show pride? High school sports. I'm Robert Falkins.
And I'm Janie Ulmer. We're both assistant commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association, and we love how high school sports play a key role in the life of every member of a school community.
That's because high school sports are a special place where everyone shows up to have the team's back.
It's amazing to see the whole community, students and parents, coaches and teachers, come together at the school to cheer on their student athletes.
Celebrating high school sports unites us all, and that experience is essential to the pride and passion of an entire community.
Be a champion of high school sports by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is unity. This is pride. This is your IHSAA.
All right, welcome back, everyone, here to the Trojan Trench. Triton took that third set, 25-22. I think you're going to see a back-and-forth slugfest here in this fourth set between these two teams because North Judson, a team who can dial it in and get out in front and hurry, play with that lead, but Triton's going to have to dig deep and play through those mistakes and try to find themselves out there on the floor. Communicate, get yourself in front, be knowledgeable where you're at on the floor.
Yes.
So final adjustments. Of course, Triton will be at Tippecanoe Valley Thursday night. Then you'll have the Triton tournament on Saturday.
I'll throw the schedule up there next time we
eventually
get a shot.
Of course, we had the recognition of all the other volleyball teams tonight. 6th grade, both middle school, 7th and 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Chambers across to Minix. And it all tips it across, and Triton gets the opening point here, the fourth set. First time tonight where they got that opening point.
Yes.
I think this, whoever makes the least amount of mistakes here, and I know that's kind of goes without saying, but yeah. I think the team here that can either make the most off those turnovers or can commit the least amount of turnovers, I think is where it takes this fourth set. Because like I said, it's going to be a tight fourth set here. Is the way that third set ended. I mean, you talk about two teams that were rallying there towards the end. I mean, you've got to be ready, I think, whatever side you're on here in this fourth set.
Absolutely.
Snyder leaves it up. Addison Veer swings through the block. Lady J's on the return. Veers handles it. She wants it back. She'll swing with the left hand and goes across the way. Digging deep in the toolbox for that one. Although our student section is dwindling here at 8:30 at night.
Curfew.
Mm-hmm.
School night.
Chambers to Craig. Lena Dahl to dig, but a heads-up play again by Craig along the front line. Veers tips it through the block. And trying on a roll. Just a little bit of a roll here in this fourth set. I don't know. Jackson's supposed to be in bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock. Danny goes to bed at 7:38, so.
Oh, jealous.
Yeah.
Well, when her medication comes crashing down, she's ready for bed. Blocked up front by Hensley, but Martin goes across. Veers sends out too far at the back row. Oh, Caden, I make sure they're in bed by 9, right? If nothing's going on, if there's no ball games. Unless he has homework, he might have to dig deep a little bit and try to get that done. Snyder leaves it for Hensley. Winds up and swings, but too strong at the back row and ties it up at 3 for the Lady Jays.
It's just little things with, I think,
You want
each
it?
team kind of going back and forth. Like, especially going back to what you said with, like, the team that either makes, like, the most amount of mistakes or who, like, uses the mistakes to their, like, ability. Like,
Get those points off turnovers. I mean, the team that can make the most out of those opportunities, I think, takes this fourth set. Like I said, it goes without saying, but you're going to see a slugfest back and forth. I think that team makes that one who doesn't commit that one critical mistake, I think, takes this. And I think you're going to see that right in the middle of this set.
no, I agree with you 1,000% because that's going to be the team who's hungrier in this last set. And, like, this is also where players need to kind of dig in a little bit because this is getting down to, you know, another game. You're getting tired. You really need to focus on your fundamentals.
And Avery Veers with a rocket, but Lindley Martin in the front line gets it across. Addison Veers right through.
Scoreboard's not working again.
Send Mason down, unplug, and plug it back in.
When he gets the banana done.
Oh, when he gets the banana done. There you go. It's 5-5 all. And Triton, that's her third serve that has gone into the net here in this set.
And those are the exact kind of, like, little mistakes that you can't let happen. Or you not getting your hand completely on top of the ball. It's just very little things that are going to kind of, I don't want to say make or break, but in this situation, make or break the game.
Johnson gets it across. Snyder pushing along the front line to Lena Dahl. They couldn't quite keep that one in play. Lady Jays starting to take some momentum here as Weib will go back for her second straight serve. Score 7-5. Fears stops it. Davis pushes it to Lena Dahl, who sets it across the way. Martin wants it. She winds up, but that one goes out of bounds. And Maya Davis back to serve. Big moment for her. Trailing by 1 in this fourth set. Martin winds up, swings through, and drives it through the block. Martin has impressed me all night with her hitting ability.
Mm-hmm.
But that leads up with good passing. Allie Westhaver will check in, goal on the front line. Bulis checks in for Maya Davis. She'll go in the back. Oh, I'm sorry. Westhaver in the back row with Bulis and Holly. The front line of Addison and Avery Veers and Lena Dahl. And Minix couldn't quite clear it. Avery Veers goes back to serve. Hensley rotates into the front line. Minix, Chambers, and Martin the front line for the Lady Jays with Craig, White, and Johnston in the back row. Chambers tracks it down. Minix hits it through the block, and Bulis couldn't quite get there.
Hey, Mason, the box.
Martin with a strong serve to the back row. Westhaver's going to have to play it on the net. Nice play by Westhaver. Holly hits down, but goes off of, didn't quite get it. A 3-point lead for the Lady Jays. Another ace for the Lady Jays. Timeout for Coach Stevens. He tries to refocus him in as North Judson taking control of this fourth set, leading by 4. The Triton Blue Slam volleyball team will be having a fundraiser featuring Bruce's Big Grill Barbecue on Saturday, September 9th from 11 to 2 in the Triton High School parking lot. Ticket price is $12 and the meals to include pulled pork barbecue sandwich, chips, and water. Desserts are available with donation upon picking up your meal. All proceeds from the fundraiser will benefit the Triton Varsity Volleyball program. Thank you for supporting your Lady Big Blue Slam. As we noted earlier, the sandwiches are great, as always. They're always good. They never disappoint. But the desserts, those are also a good spot there. I mean, I like to eat, obviously. But I want to thank Leah Alder for providing meal for us tonight as well. Give Leah her shout out.
Cracked chicken.
Cracked chicken, is that what you called
Tater
it?
tot.
Tater tot, some
casserole.
kind of casserole. It was pretty good. Martin to serve out of the timeout. Chambers leaves it across. Craig swings it and drives it in. As the Lady Jays in control. Triton just needs to take a breath, right? I mean, I know I keep saying that. They just need to settle down and talk. Trust your teammates on the floor. Don't bunch up. And that one goes out of bounds. They want a tip from Macy Hensley, but both refs are saying no tip.
I don't think she did. I think
looked
her
close.
hands were just kind of right place, right time kind of thing. But I don't think she made contact, or else you would see some kind of weird spin on the ball. But no, you're right.
It looked close.
Yeah. The no communicating, like, that is what would break any team. I think we saw a little bit of it with North Judson. Ooh. There was a little break where I saw that Triton had responded back and kept responding back, and they had kind of gotten a little out of whack. But they were able to control it because the whole team goes to the middle. The whole team is picking up that teammate and doing their role.
That ball goes out of bounds. Lady J's back on the board. Right now, it's like we said earlier, who wants it more here in this fourth set? And right now, North Judson in control right now, up by 4. Snyder leaves it for Addison Veers. She swings, goes back row. Johnson to handle from the libero spot. And Chambers hit that one, goes underneath. And checks on Macy Hensley. Good sportsmanship there by Chambers.
Oh. I'm not going to make him go back down there, but it's quit working again.
So it's either got to be the cable or something else is not going right down there. So the score is 10-13. Craig blocked by Hensley. Snyder again. Sends it to the back row. Chambers pulls it back to Martin and drops it right in that sideline. Lady Jays hanging on to their lead, trying to force a 5th set. Snyder brings it back in. Holly sends a free ball across. Martin leaves it for Chambers. Davis will have to battle up on the front line. And Addison Veers and Hensley. That's some tough front line play between both teams. Two good front lines. Triton down by 2. Martin with a strong hit. Addison Veers right through the block, and it rolls, but didn't quite clear the net. And the Trojans draw within 1. Lady Jays timed the block just in time, but Addison didn't quite get their hands deflected where the ball goes back across the net. Hensley now. Martin tips it across. Snyder there waiting. Maya Davis tries to catch the defense napping. White close. And that one doesn't get past on this side of the antenna, and out of bounds is the call. Coach even says, he points right at Emma. That's you. That's the stuff you. He points right at her without hesitation.
Oh.
And Snyder couldn't quite get the set. And that's what Coach even said. That was the right thing to do. You did the right thing, just a little too close.
Yep.
Encouraging words from the coach as the Lady Jays lead by 3. Snyder sends it to Veers, and she sends a rocket to the back row. Oh, we need to get one of those speedometers when Addison hits it. Triton trails by 2. Martin winds up, goes right down. Veers handles it. It's a free ball back across. Martin has to hit with one hand. Holly handles it. Lena Dahl splits the defenders in the back row. And Triton now draws within 1. This is going to be a big point in this match right here. Triton needs to draw even. But if you're Judson, a team that has not given up that lead since early in the set. An ace for Addison Veers. (16-16). The Jays recover. Davis passing it up high to Lena Dahl and drops it in. And the Lady Trojans take the lead by 1. Hearing about this 3-quarter stage of this 4th set. An ace for Addison Veers. And a timeout for North Judson. As Triton leads by 2. But now if you're North Judson, this is the team. Now Coach Rack, he's going to fire them up down there, and she's going to get them back in this game focused and ready to come out of this timeout. If you're Triton, you cannot be complacent. You have that lead. You need to put your foot on the gas pedal and finish this set here. This is going to show what you're made of here in these next 2 points.
Absolutely, and this is exactly what the North Judson coach wants. She wants to take away that she wants to make them cool down. She wants to have them relax a little bit, because then that can only work in her favor, especially while she's jumping her team up. Every coach does it. It's just up to Triton to respond back with even more fire than what they have.
And Lindley Martin was very vocal, the senior,
yes,
showing off that leadership there in that huddle. As they trail by 2, Addison Veers back to serve. I said we were going to have a slugfest here in this 4th set. Has not disappointed thus far. White handles it. Craig calls for it. And now Martin takes over and sends it across. Sets close to the net and tries to get called for going into the net. What in the world?
What
number was that? One-point ball game. Kelsey White back to serve. Davis passes up to Avery Veers, who swings a good swing through for the sophomore. And a smile from Big Sister. I don't think she was concerned on that interchange. And Allie Westaver rotates in for Snyder. Maya Davis patient. Sends a good serve to the back row. Martin has to tip it across. And Holly keeps it alive at a double hit call on Triton. It's their 3rd double hit call of the night. And Bulis rotates in. 1-point ball game. Triton just needs to take a breath. Can't control that last point. But for North Judson, looking to answer back. And it all tips it across and right there. Veers, calm, cool, and collected, and sends an ace across.
She actually yelled. Did you see that?
I see it. I doubt she'll ever do an interview with me.
You make her.
Oh, I can make her. I'll talk her into it one of these days. Veers leaves it up for Westaver. Craig sends that one, couldn't quite clear the net. Here's again. Goes to Martin. Martin sends it across. Now Lena Dahl goes back row. Johnson kept it in play. Macy Hensley swings through and drives it down. Avery Veers with another nice serve. Martin to Minix. Madison Veers leaves it up for Macy Hensley, who sets it across. Chambers got a piece of it. And Martin sends a free ball across. Lena Dahl swings through the block, and it's going to be match point here on this possible point here. And what I've liked seeing here from Triton is a team that they were down this 4 set. We saw a team when it was time to answer the call, they've done so. But a big point there for Lady Jays. But Triton's effort in this 4 set has been impressive. And Lindley Martin back to serve. The accurate server for these Lady Jays. Westaver pushing it to Macy Hensley. Hensley swings through. Next in that one, Westaver keeps it alive. Veers sets it across. Martin handles it. Chambers pushing it back to Martin. She'll swing. Clears the net. Hensley keeps it alive. Chambers setting it across to Craig. And that one goes out of bounds. Is with a call. And Triton wins 25-19. As Triton will improve to 3-0 in the Hoosier North and 7-1 on the season. And a big win here at home against a conference opponent. So Triton, like we said, will be playing Tippecanoe Valley on Thursday night. I'm going to go down and get an interview with a senior, I guess. We'll see what questions I can draw up here on the fly. So Orion can put that up. We'll be right back right here on the Triton Trojan Sports Network. All right, now we got 3 seniors. We got Lena, Hannah, and Addison. You know, the last 2 games, you guys want to talk about cutting it close to the wire. What you guys did impressive, though, I wanted y'all 3 to talk about it. You got down in that 4th set. That was huge. We had some mistakes, but how you guys answered back. What's that like as seniors that you guys are able to figure those things out on the fly like that?
Usually our second set is our worst set, so I think we can all agree on that. So some games have gone for when they probably shouldn't have. And fighting back is just something that we've never been able to do in the past, and I think we've done really well this year. It's not something we've never been able to do, but it's something that that wasn't our greatest strength.
I think all of us have been waiting these past 4 years to become seniors, become the leaders of the team. And I think we're all just really good natural leaders. And so now that it's our turn, I think we are ready to step up, and that's what we've been doing lately. Do you want to say something?
I'm just really happy we have been able to finish because it's so exciting, especially when the games get close like that. And then we all come together and work as a team, and it's just so exciting.
For you guys, it always just amazes me, this football team. And I keep saying I want a helmet because when Madison's warming up, I tend to get hit in the head, so I got to start protecting myself. But what's it like to have the football players show up for you guys like that after football practice, even though these guys just got done working outside in the heat, and they come in here and cheer you guys on? What's that like?
One of the Triton mottos is 13 sports, 1 team or something like that. And we go to their games and they come to ours. And I think just supporting each other is something that makes the game more fun and makes us want to play harder.
It just means a lot. It makes us feel good that they want to come support us, and so we come support them too.
Yeah, a quiet gym is so hard to play in, so whenever they're out cheering, it really helps a lot. It really does mean a lot.
Well, to be heard, a quiet gym to broadcast in is not fun either, because I feel like everybody can hear me when I'm talking. I do not like being heard all the time. So Blueberry Festival this last weekend, of course, being a guy that likes to eat, what is the best thing at the Blueberry Festival to get? What is that one thing you got to get?
A cheesecake on a stick with chocolate and sprinkles. That's it.
Very detailed.
The blueberry donuts, but specifically in the bucket.
Oh, I was going to say the blueberry donuts, but the ones in the box.
Oh, I like the bucket.
See, for me, I always got to get kettle corn. Well, that's only because it's close to one of the exits we usually watch from the parking lot, so we can leave earlier once after the fireworks go. So the kettle corn's always the stop, and it depends on how hot it is if you got to go in for those blueberry donuts. Now, my brother-in-law's there. Blueberry donuts have got to be picked up because otherwise he'll just pout in the parking lot the entire time. So for you guys, okay, you're coming in the Triton tournament this weekend. What kind of things are you guys talking to one another now about? Because you have a tough game on Thursday, then you're going to go into a tough day on Saturday.
We've never been a morning team, I can say that. We're all pretty slow in the mornings, a little bit grouchy here and there. But I think just keeping our fight up and no matter what, doing what we've been doing here and just finishing out the games.
Yeah, we definitely need to start focusing more in practices now because these past 2 games have gone a little longer than we've hoped for. So let's hope Saturday's nice and quick.
Yeah, we have some good teams coming up, but if we just keep focused and play as a team, we're going to do great.
And then to go back to Coach Perry's thing, a bowl of candy in the middle in the morning doesn't seem to hurt either, right?
It's been donuts.
It's been donuts. Okay. Well, ladies, you guys have done great. I'll let you guys go get changed and get this over with here tonight. So with that being said, until next time, remember the Trojan way.